My phone, as you can tell from the angle, is quite awkward. I apologize. You will not have full view of the complete round pen, but we are going to get out of it in just a minute. I wanted to do a brief kind of just overview of what's going on here. So today we are going to be talking about kind of lunging, introducing lunging, and then introducing lunging outside the round pen. This is going to really lead into ground driving. I don't do it very often, but I am going to do it with him just a little bit. As you can see, actually, I don't know if you can see, my pivot is not working up on where I have my phone. I don't like to put it there. Mainly because the angle still isn't good enough, but we're gonna do our best today. So, hi honey. The round pen I feel like is something easy for horses to kind of get sour of because they spend a lot of time, especially in the beginning years of their training, to be inside the round pen. So what we're gonna start with right now is just our basic round penning, and I'm going to go over some basic of teaching your cues, really refining your cues in the round pen. I feel like this is something people don't do very often or really think a whole lot of, is really defining your cues and what they mean. A lot of people say cues, but their horses don't actually know or talk about what they mean. So that is something that I do want to talk about as far as the round penning goes. So when I am teaching something new, I always like to teach something or start off with something that they do know, something I do know that they can give me the yes answer to. I don't like to immediately start into something new, to something that they're not going to know right away. That loses confidence. So it's been a minute since we've worked together, but we'll see what happens. So we're going to start with the round penning as a refresher. Got some ticks, bub. I'm going to have to start spraying you down. Okay. Up. Up. So he isn't really wanting to go around. He's hesitating. Small circle's fine with me. If he wants to walk off towards the edge, that's fine with me as well. But when I say up, I want him to go up. So same as this, up, up. So I want him to go on the first time I say up. I want him to keep going forward. If he wants to come close to me, that's fine too. I don't always put myself in the situation where they walk their hip right past me. I also do keep an eye out as far as, are they feeling frisky? Are they, how's their attitude going? So if he is trotting around or he's feeling anxious or something, I'm not going to let him walk his hip by me as well. So I am paying attention to those things, and I don't always recommend doing those things, but he's just kind of walking around. So he's keeping a forward motion, so I'm going to ask for him to go up, 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 into a trot. So that is something that we still need to work on. I use just my energy. We start low. We keep in a nice forward motion. And then when I'm ready, I say up, 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 up. There we go. So I'm not going to throw a huge fit that he kicked out at me. I know he's kicked me and broke my arm already. Up, 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 up. See, he didn't do it that time. But I'm not going to throw a big fit about it. I'm going to ask him to go forward. So you heard as soon as that happened, I kissed him to go forward. I kissed him to keep going. So that is just me encouraging him to keep going. And I'm pretty much just acknowledging the fact that he told me he did not want to do that. So now it is my job to reassess, okay, why does he not want to do that? Probably I put too much pressure on him too fast, which happens a lot. And I'm okay with that, you know. That's just something that it's my job to reevaluate. Okay, why did you do this? So like I said, my philosophy or method is no touch. Is my no touch method. So I'm using all of my energy, my body language, and everything. So you see, when he did not want to give me that next step up as far as the lope, I really crouched down behind him, and that's kind of probably what brought on the kicking. He saw me as a predator trying to come after me. He's trying to get me to back off. But then I may back up with my body, but I do kiss for that energy to still move forward. So I like that he came into me. After a stressful situation like that, I do like to, as long as they are still doing what I'm asking, I do like them to calm down and then just chill out for a moment. We're going to de-stress there. I'm always watching him, watching his body language, watching his eyes, his muscles. Anytime that he gets stressed, he gets kind of put out or something, that he's just really up. Something that he is just not really wanting to do. I'm always going to let him de-stress. I like to take those breaks. So he's trying to tell me that he doesn't know what I'm doing, that I am talking way too much. So we're just going to continue. I'm going to say, whoa, whoa, up, here, 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 up. So my goal as no touch is to never hit the horse. I don't want to touch the horse. You know, I may get to a point where I do need to touch the horse. I may need to use my hands as a pressure point or something to move them over, whatever it may be. But I do not ever want to just well with my whip on a horse. I want to do the best I can to staying true to that no-touch form of training. I'm always pointing in the direction I want them to go. So even in this situation where I am talking, I'm still showing how clear I am that I want him to go this direction. There we go. And now we're just going to calm down and continue this direction. So he picked up a trot there. That's fine. I'm going to let him keep it if that's what he wants. But as soon as I start figuring out that he is doing it from anxiety, so if he does it again this way, I'm going to ask him to stop. But he's calmed down. He's already seeing this gate. Here, here. He's already seeing that gate as a way out. I use the kissing noise as a keep going, not a level up or level down in speed. Up. If he wants to walk, I'm going to let him walk. I didn't ask for him to try. I mean, sort of did. I just kept him going forward. But I'm going to add a lot of pressure in that at that gate where he wants to be. I'm just going to add a lot of pressure. I'm not going to hit him or nothing like that. I'm just going to cut him off in that pressure, and you see he doesn't like it. But then he's going to figure out, hey, what are we doing here? That's fine. I will reward that. He's wanting to come in and stand. I will reward that. So what we're doing is pretty much just redefining our cues. Here means to turn. That when I'm barrel racing, that is the word I use when I am turning a barrel instead of saying whoa, because whoa means stop. So we are just redefining those cues. I will do another video later on about cues as far as correcting them and things like that. But today is about lunging. So let's go ahead and prepare our lunge. So lunging shouldn't be any harder than the round pen once we get to that point. They should do the same exact things. I do like for my horses to turn in facing me, one, for a safety reason, two, because it's easier to transition on the lead rope and on the lunge line. However, a A lot of people do like their horses to turn to the fence, so that way it makes them sit on their butt, it builds more muscle, things like that. I can always teach that, in my opinion. If they turn to me, you know, I can take this lead right here, this lunge line, start shaking, and he should be sitting back, just like that. He kind of shifted his weight back, now he's stepping back. That's easier to teach, you know. I do like them to face forward, so those are nice things. So I do like to immediately with a lunge line, you know, we're gonna get that feel. We're gonna ask for that, that give, that, what are we doing right now? Flexing. Wow, my brain just went dead. So we're gonna ask to flex. He's not really wanting to pay attention. There we go. We're gonna ask him to flex. We already asked him to back up, just those basic things. So now what we're gonna do is he likes going this direction versus the other direction. And a lot of it, I think, is because he still hasn't quite figured out his leads yet. So he struggles. Up, up. So we're gonna ask to go around. When I'm first introducing to lunge, I always do it in a round pen. I always do it as far away as they want or as close as they want, to a certain extent at least. So he's not hugging the round pen, which I absolutely love. So I'm not too particular when starting out with the lunge line about like kind of keeping them close, keeping them soft, their body rounded, things like that. Right now we're just learning the feel. Now, ease. He's trotting on his own, so I'm going to try to control more of ease, 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 ease. I'm going to try to control up, up. More of his speed on the lunge line, mainly because I'm getting a lot of anxiety from him right now. He's trotting. Some people may see it as happiness. He's not really wanting to pay attention. People may see it as, oh, he's hot, he wants to go. That's not what I'm getting from him. He's stressed and he's trying to learn, but he's not staying focused because he's too worried about everything else. So we're gonna try to control that speed, but he's doing great. So you see how round pinning helps with this. So he should already know most of all of these cues. He just has to figure out the lead rope is attached to him. He has to figure out that I can control him with this as well. So I'm just gonna let him do this. Ease, ease, easy, easy. There we go. So when I ask them to stop, I look forward and bend over. I do like to kind of sit back more like a stop. Kind of in my head, it's like kind of show them how I want them to do it. He does pretty good stopping wise, but I say whoa at that point. He does really well listening to my body, so I did not say whoa at that point, which was a mistake. Up, up. So this is a part when asking them to move directions that can kind of catch people in a hiccup there, because most horses should, if they have not yet had any teachings from anyone else, they should move off just fine. Because if you're using your body, utilizing your body the way you should, up, 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 then they should do just fine on it, especially if you have already taught the round pin. Up, 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 up. He doesn't like going this way, and this is something that we do need to spend more time on. So we've established forward movement, we've established the stopping, we've established doing those things on both sides. Whoa, whoa. If they don't stop when you say whoa, Now, like I said, it's been a minute since we have round pen. Then I always give the leader up a wiggle. It's so much easier if you are attached to your horse to get your horse to back up by wiggling, because it doesn't matter how far you are. He can always back up if I am wiggling. And it doesn't matter which way I'm facing. He knows that wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Back means to back up. We're not with it today. That's okay. So if I ask him to stop, I crouch and I say, whoa, and I'm looking forward. So I like to step in front of their drive line, of course, that's going to stop them, and say, whoa. If he is not butt down and stopped, then I immediately go to the wiggle and see how he puts his head up. He starts moving back. He pushes his weight back. So that's always my go-to. So like I was saying, when we're transitioning, I'm going to have you back up, son. I'm sorry. So this is really hard. So when you're asking your horse to move, this is something you could do with a lead rope as well, but you're going to pull their face over to the side of you. You're going to step over and look at their butt, up, and you're going to give them the cue to move forward. So whoa, whoa. Okay, so we're going to do this side. Pull your hand across from you. Look at their butt, drive them, give them the cue if they need it. This is super easy. Whoa. Super easy. All this is teaching the horse to follow their feel of the lead rope. Whoa. Whoa. See, he kind of wanted to, he wasn't 100% sure. So now that we have these things down in the round pen, we are lunging, we've got a stop, we've got forward movement, we can move across, we can step out and transition into a bigger area. So give me a moment to get everything set up. We will be right back. I always like to start in the corner. So we've got one wall and we've got another wall, which is obviously going to put him already into a half circle. So we like to get the best help that we can, especially starting out. Always feel free to help your horses. Do not let them, don't put them in a situation that they are not going to get the answers right. We always want to help them out. So if you have the ability for a corner, definitely do so. I put that log out there, one, because it was in the way, two, that kind of helps see kind of a circle area. Helps me kind of visualize an area. You don't have to have that, but this obviously already helps you partly. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to ask him up, up, up. So up, up. There we go. Up, up. Big area. Everything to see. We're going to start with a walk and we are going to try to put them on the track. So when I say on track, they're tracking their feet, they're staying in a circle. We're going to try to make the circle we want him to be on in the first couple steps so that we see a track. They're going to want to veer off. You can see he's pulling on me. I'm going to kiss to keep moving forward, not to speed up. When I want him to speed up, I will say UP. If I want him to slow down, then we will say EASY. But right now, we are just creating that forward momentum in a somewhat circle. He's wanting to veer off. There's hay in over there. The gate's open. There's a lot to see, a lot to do. So that's why we're staying at a walk. Up, 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 up. We're going to ask him to stop. We're going to ask him to back up. We're going to ask again. Up, up, up. There we go. There's There's no need to get frustrated, to get mad, to start welling and flailing. No need for that. All we have to do is stop, take a second, and try again. There we go. So obviously, we're going to get over here. He's just going to move forward because that's your corner. That's great. There's no pressure there. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's going to come off and move around. He sees that gate open over there. So I'm just going to pull on his face. And every time he gives me that face, I'm going to create that slack. And by pulling, I just mean create that contact. I'm not going to like firm hand. There's what we're looking for, firm hand. So we already know, I'm going to put my hand out, close my fingers, and we're just going to let him kind of pull. And when he gives, we give. So something I do when lunging is when you're wanting the horse to move forward, to continue moving forward, but you're wanting in a certain direction, to pull your hand out in like to the side of your body in that direction, just like this. So that way, not only am I still creating that tension on his face for him to give me his face, but I'm pulling out in this direction for him to continue forward. I'm not pulling to me, because if I pull to me, that automatically creates that slowing. It creates him wanting to stop, things like that. So if I pull out here, up, he's going to follow that feel. So much easier. Once they get the hang of it, of course, you can start pulling your hands in. They don't need as much help. Up. He said, oh no. So we did good that direction. We're going to do this direction. Up. And the same thing, we're going to focus on our circle. Up. We're going to focus on creating that tension in areas. So I'm not jerking on his face. Up, up. You can see he's wanting to go over there. Up, up. So he wants to come to me. I'm going to put my hand up for him to go around. Up, up. There we go. I'm going to always put that hand up towards his face so he can see that that is more of a not a good area. I like to say it creates that wall for him to continue moving forward. So not as pretty as a circle. That's okay. And we're just going to do this. We do this for quite a few sessions. Like I've lunged him 3 times, counting, not counting today, and we're still in our corner. So when we create that tension in their face, we always want to give a release when they are in that situation we want. So right here, no tension. Right here, no tension. I would if we were out in a different situation, but now he's wanting to go out there. So we're going to pull his face this way. We're going to pull his face this way. As soon as his face returns, we are going to create that release. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. We're going to ask for this way, and we're going to ask for a trot. This is the beginning steps of lunging, which in return is going to turn into the beginning steps of ground driving, which we will get into later on. But we are going to have to get into our routine and actually start working on round pinning a little bit better, redefining our cues, really understanding our cues, really getting into lunging, getting better at those things. So I just kind of wanted to show y'all our beginning steps of how we are doing this. Okay, now we're going to ask for a trot. Up, up, up. There we go. Now he's going to want to go off. That's okay. We're just going to keep that tension. Up, up, up. Same thing. He's going to want to go off. That's okay. We're going to keep some tension. I am going to do up. I'm going to do my best to stay in my circle. At this point, he's getting frustrated. If he wants to switch directions, that's fine. Up. 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 And if we are moving up into faster speeds, as you've seen, like he's trotting, he's not quite figured it out, like his mind's not there, then we're only going to do those sessions up multiple times, like a couple times in like a few sessions. You know, we're not going to continue and continue and continue to try in those sessions when he's not quite getting it. So, a little rundown for today. This is pretty much what our first steps look like. You can see he's doing much better walking. You can see that he's kind of figured out that, hey, at a walk, I'm not going to try to force mom over into that corner. Which is better, you know. Like I said, we haven't worked on this in quite a while, especially lunging in itself. I haven't really worked him since the last time we filmed, and we definitely haven't lunged since forever. So not really something that I'm really picky about right now. Up, up. So, he kind of anticipated that one. So when doing lunging, now, because we semi know kind of where he's about, we're going to work more in the round pen to redefine our cues. Make sure he knows what stop is, make sure he knows what here is, up, easy, all those things. That's going to build his confidence as far as knowing what to do in those situations. Then what we're going to do is really work on getting him to do those things on the lunge line. I'm not really too particular because he does semi-okay out here. We'll probably continue the lunging in the corner once we redefine those cues. And then what we're going to do is work on applying those cues onto the lunge line in this corner. And then he will start to build that confidence. Then we'll be able to start stepping up into our next gaits, trotting and loping and things like that. So overall, I think he did semi-okay. That's what the beginning looks like. Those are kind of the steps we take. This is a little bit rushed, but I feel like we're not putting out a lot of content, and so I feel bad for y'all as far as watching. We are getting back into a routine of working the horses now, so I just wanted to kind of put this out there because we are going to be getting into ground driving, things like that. But lunging is kind of what where we're gonna be at for a while. I don't typically use the round pen outside of really creating that communication, applying cues, teaching them the cues, things like that. Once we get those cues down, we really start to lunge and then ground drive, and then we go off from there. We probably won't retouch round pinning for a while until I really feel like either we need to, or I feel like that we just need to because we haven't in a while, you know. I don't have those issues. So round pinning's not one of my go-to things always. I like to teach them to lunge because one, you can lunge everywhere should I need to lunge.